Good day, viewers, and welcome us to 2020 World Sickle Cell Day with the theme Shine the Light on Sickle Cell. The World Sickle Cell Day is celebrated on the 19th of June every year. The O5 initiative usually celebrates by holding awareness campaign in marketplaces, sensitization in schools, and rallies to mark the event. But this year, we are reaching you on this platform due to the COVID-19. And it is my prayer that each and every one of you are keeping safe. Shine the light on sickle cell means creating awareness on sickle cell disorder. To discuss this topic with me, I have in the studio Dr. Ken Emagwe, consultant orthopedic surgeon with the FMC Asaba. I have Dr. Okowa, consultant pediatrician with FMC Asaba. I also have Dr. Uche Okwe, Delta State focal person on sickle cell disorder. I have Dr. Regu, consultant hematologist, FMC Asaba. I am Edith Okowa, your host. Now we're going to go straight to the questions. Explain some questions that will shine light on the sickle cell disorder. I will start with Dr. Okwe. Please, can you tell us what sickle cell disorder is all about? Tell us what lifestyle modification, dietary advice you recommend in preventing complications with SCD.
The sickle cell disorder is an abnormality of the red blood cells of the sickle cell wall. What we mean is this: the disorder of the cells of the red blood cells appearing disc-shaped, they become sickle in shape or banana shaped, the way we understand it. And this is as a result of some genetic abnormalities or genetic disorder associated with it. It arises from the fact that both parents have a gene which is the AS, and then of course they bring forth a child with an SS. And then for the lifestyle or modifications, what dietary advice we have to give to avoid all forms of complications of sickle cell include drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. In addition to that, the patient will need to attend clinics on a monthly basis for follow-up. The warrior is expected to have to be educated, know very much about what his condition is and how to get about it and how to keep himself healthy. Aside that, he is supposed to know what to eat. He is supposed to eat a balanced diet. The daily feeding of the child must have the proteins, carbohydrates, oils and fats, water, and vitamins. We have the common foods we eat that help to enrich the body. The protein helps to build up the blood cells, which only survive for only 7 to 10 days. So in that case, you actually need to build it up with protein. And then you also have vitamins. Vitamins are a necessity to the body, and we know that they help in fighting infections. So you see that the balanced diet is very, very necessary. And then we equally advise that the warrior, we need to go on visiting the clinics every month to check and follow up on his PCV to find out if he is anemic. We do run other tests to find out if the warrior has some infection that needs to be handled immediately. We equally advise for the lifestyle modifications that he's not expected to have excessive exercise. We equally advise that swimming should be out of it. Another thing we usually advise is be careful with taking painkillers, opioids, when you have to go and then become addicted to them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Okwe. Dr. Okowa, I want you to tell our audience, why is it that some STD patients have more severe and frequent crises than others? What can they do?
I would like to classify them into 3 categories. There's the genetic, there is the environmental, and there is the habitual. When we talk about genetic factors, we are talking about other things, tendencies that are inherited. And it is well established that SCD patients that have a high fetal hemoglobin. That is the type of hemoglobin that is present in a newborn baby. So those that genetically have high percentage of fetal hemoglobin in their blood, they are likely to manifest with less severe symptoms. Why? Because the fetal hemoglobin inhibits the tendency to sickle. It holds on to oxygen more than the S hemoglobin, and therefore enriches the red blood cells with the presence of oxygen. We know that it's absent the oxygenation that leads to sickling. Talking about the environmental, we are talking about the environments that remove some of the things that influence sickling. Like it will lead to sickling via the narrowing of the blood vessels. So, the more someone is an SCA patient warrior who dwells in an atmosphere of moderate climates will do better than the one that is staying in a harsh environment. Somebody living in a non-malarial zone will do better than one who is suffering from frequent malaria infections. The same thing with bacteria, especially the pneumococcal infections. So an area that is devoid of this will do better.
Now I'm going to Dr. Rigo. Why the sudden severe anemia warranting frequent transfusion in some sickle cell patients?
Thank you, Excellency. We all know that sickle cell disorder is a chronic anemic state where these patients usually have chronic hemolysis, and it's as a result of the short lifespan of their red cell. And this is as a result of the disorder of the hemoglobin. And we all know that the hemoglobin is within the red cells. Because this hemoglobin have a defective state, the lifespan of the red cells is shortened. So when you're managing a sickle cell patient, you must ensure that the patient is always within that steady state. And the steady state is the PCV at which the patient operates when it's okay. So, and that will also help if you want to transfuse. And if the steady state PCV is too high, it also tells you that this patient is dehydrated. So when patient has been having a particular steady state PCV, which is usually within the range, it could be 23 to 27 and 25 to 28, and suddenly the PCV begins to drop and you begin to transfuse the patient. That tells you that something is happening. For those that are not compliant with their medication, because of the increased cell turnover, the majority of the cells can just last for 16 days and they are destroyed by the body. There comes a time the body is just like trying to produce red cells and there's no material to produce. You find out that the PCA begins to drop. And that takes us to what we call ineffective erythropoiesis. I mean, the bone marrow is producing red cells, but these red cells are not viable enough, to withstand the stress within the bone marrow. So if you do a bone marrow for that patient, you analyze the bone, you find out that you have increased red cell precursors. So when these begin to happen, the patient begins to have constant anemia. And when this happens, there's infarction and repeated sickle cells. When there are more sickle cells, there's what we refer to irreversible and reversible sickle cell. For increased irreversible sickle cells, those cells are the ones that are very dangerous. They come down with complications, poor vision, there's a compromise of the kidneys, the heart.
What are the common orthopedic manifestations of this condition?
The musculoskeletal complications or the bone, joint, and muscle manifestations of sickle cell disease is extremely important for the simple fact that, one, they are notoriously painful, they are difficult to treat, and also they are life-changing in the sense that they can alter the lifestyle of the individual involved. I would like to classify these complications into acute and chronic. The acute complications involving bone, joints and muscles are those that occur suddenly, and they tend to resolve over a period of 2 to 6 weeks if treated properly. And then the chronic ones are those that spans beyond 6 weeks. So what are these acute bone, joint, and muscle complications of sickle cell anemia? Okay. The notable among them is the bone pain crisis. It is said that 80% of the reasons why patients with sickle cell anemia present to the hospital oftentimes is due to bone, joint, and muscle complications, usually the bone pain crisis. In bone pain crisis, the patient has excruciating pains involving the bones, and the reason for this is not far-fetched. Like my colleagues have said, there is reduced oxygen to the tissue, of which the bone is one of them, muscles too, and the joints. And this reduced oxygen translates into the bone and those parts of the body not getting enough nutrients, and it results in pain. Other complications that are acute include dactylitis. The pain is usually on the hand and on the foot, in what is commonly known as the hand and foot syndrome. Other bone, joint, and muscle complications that may occur acutely are acute osteomyelitis. Now, you note that patients with sickle cell anemia are prone to infection. Microorganisms that get into the body, usually the one we call encapsulated organisms, that are taken care of by the spleen. Okay, they remain in the body and they tend to cause infection. The bone is kind of eroded in those areas, so they become weak, and as such, little pressure on those areas can easily cause fracture. Now, for patients that have acute osteomyelitis that is not treated promptly, it may progress from acute to chronic. Okay. Other complications like myelosclerosis, those ones are not as common as avascular necrosis and chronic osteomyelitis.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Then, Dr. Okowa, very quickly, please. Depression and abuse of medication among warriors has become very, very common. Can you tell us how they can stop this?
Thank you, ma'am. That is where the genetic counselor comes in. We have genetic counselors distributed in the sickle cell clinics. When a child is depressed, there are warning signs, and then we advise the counselors to look out for those warning signs, like the way they appear, their composure. If they are sad, you open up and then you listen to them. And then that is the only way you know how they are doing. That is checking to find out if they are pale. That will actually indicate the nutritional status of the child. If the child is pale, that is he's not doing well. And then you actually also look at his appearance. Is he wearing torn clothes? What of the hair, the nails? Is he taking care of himself? These are things that the counselor actually looks out for. And then is able to forestall whatever problems the child is having. And then for the counselors, you can share your phone number to be able to declare yourself accessible to that child who may be depressed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Okowa. And I want to tell us parents as you watch today that you are the first counselor to your child. Caregivers, you are the next counselor before they can go to the outside counselors.
Being diagnosed with sickle cell disease is not a death sentence. The complications that could arise from it, they are preventable, they are treatable. So, you keep up alive, all is well. All you need to do is attend your clinic regularly and see your doctor when you have the slightest of symptoms. You'll be well.
To our sickle cell warriors, and say the world is all yours. And while you're doing that, you should stay safe, avoid undue exposure. COVID-19 is real, and stay safe.
I want to say a very big thank you to our sponsors, persons that have left all they needed to do in the hospitals to come and talk to our very important patients. Then to our parents and caregivers who through thick and thin have supported our warriors, God bless you really good. And to our warriors, I encourage you never to give up. God has a plan for you. God has a purpose for you. And like you've heard them say, you will be the only one that can limit yourselves. Nobody can limit you. I always tell you, sickle cell disease or disorder is not a death sentence. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that have joined us today. Please lend a helping hand to that boy, to that girl, to that man and that woman around you. There is need to show love. God is love.